We are going to be baking my favorite chocolate cake recipe. I love it because it is really simple and it is always moist, and it really is foolproof. And we're going to be serving it with a lovely whipped chocolate frosting. All right, let's get started. First, we're going to have to preheat our oven to 175 degrees Celsius. I keep my butter wrappers in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. I'm just going to grease the sides really well. I'm going to get a little circle of baking paper. So I just folded it, as you can see, like that. Measured what I roughly thought it would be and just snipped off the excess. When you open it up, you end up with a circle. So it's just to help us get the cake off the base of the pan once it's finished. Set that aside, that's ready to go. If you've got buttermilk, you can use buttermilk, but I'm going to use 1 cup of regular milk, and I'm going to add to that 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Give that a little stir. I'm going to set that aside. All right, so I'm going to sift 2 cups of all-purpose plain flour. To that, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to add 1 3/4 cups of sugar, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. I've got Dutch cocoa powder here. I find the color and the texture really nice with the Dutch cocoa powder. And we're just going to whisk that through. All the lumps out into the bowl. So I'm going to add my wet ingredients now into the dry ingredients. I've got 2 eggs. 1, 2, half a cup of oil. Grapeseed oil is a really nice light oil. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. The vinegared milk or buttermilk. So I've got 1 cup of hot coffee here. That's going to make our cake nice and rich, but I'm not going to add it yet because I don't want to actually cook my eggs. So I'm going to start whisking and then I'm going to add the coffee slowly. Try to break up those eggs first. All right, so now that the eggs are a little bit dispersed, I can start to add my hot coffee. So whisk it all together till it's nice and smooth. Feel free to use an electric beater, try not to overbeat it. We're gonna now pour it into the cake tin. Because I've used an 8-inch or 20-centimeter tin, it's quite a high cake, so it will take probably 50 to maybe 55, even 1 hour. Give it a little tap just to get some of the bigger air bubbles out and pop it in the oven. So just check it, stick a skewer in the middle. Once the skewer comes out clean, your cake is done. So this cake has taken about 55 minutes. Set that aside on a wire rack to cool. While that's cooling, we're gonna get onto the chocolate frosting. Chocolate frosting, you're going to need 2 1/3 cups of icing or powdered sugar, 2/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. Dutch cocoa powder is what I like to use. You sift the powdered sugar and the cocoa powder together. 1/3 of a cup of milk. 1/3 of a cup of room temperature butter. Salted butter does make the frosting taste a lot better. That salt just lifts the flavor a little bit, but feel free to use unsalted butter. Whip up the butter until it's light and fluffy. Then to that, we're going to add 1/3 of the icing sugar cocoa powder mixture and half of the milk. Whip that slowly so it doesn't go flying everywhere. Once that's incorporated, then you can increase the speed. Repeat with 1/3 of the powder and the rest of the milk. Slowly, slowly. And then finally, the rest of the powder goes inside. We're gonna whip that for a couple of minutes till it's all incorporated and nice and fluffy. Don't forget to scrape it down as you go. speed it up to high and get some air into this frosting. Nice airy chocolate frosting to ice our delicious moist chocolate cake. Blop. Swirls. Lift that up. That is a good chocolate cake. So there you have it. I think one of the most delicious chocolate cakes you're ever going to have. It's simple to make, moist on the inside, with a lovely rich chocolate frosting. Hope you liked the video. Leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.